Hi, I'm Beth. Welcome to your core yoga routine. Today we're going to be using a block to help you both strengthen and stabilize your core. This is going to be all lying on the floor. So if you're ready, grab your block and come down and join me on the floor. All right, so there are no crunches in this routine. We're using the block to help stabilize and also to help strengthen your core. And as you strengthen your core, that will likely help you to reduce lower back pain. So we'll start with placing the block between the thighs. You can choose the width. I'm going to use it on the narrowest width. Place it where it's comfortable, where you can get a nice grip, and then move your feet so that they're comfortably close to your bottom. We're going to begin with pelvic rocks. So simply pressing in gently on the block as you create a bigger arch under your lower back, pressing the tailbone into the floor, and then scooping your tailbone, maybe even a slight hover off the ground as you press the low back into the floor, squeeze onto the block. So the focus here as we're doing these pelvic rocks, and please continue on your own, is to squeeze the abdominals, engage the abdominals, involve the whole core, which does travel down into the hips and the legs, waking up all of these muscles. And as you're doing this, you might put your fingertips on your front hip points, and especially as you do the scoop, pressing the low back into the floor, think about drawing everything in between those points toward the center. And just a few more like this. I'm starting to feel that engagement. My abdominal area feels like it's waking up more. And then we're going to find a neutral place, but you do want to keep that abdominal engagement. So again, that space between your hip points is pulling together. Low back is drawing toward the floor a bit. And then we'll take the block and place it between both hands. So you're holding the block on either edge. We'll be moving our arms, the emphasis on keeping the core stable as you raise your arms overhead, only going to the point where the core doesn't move, and bring them back. So if you find you're getting a big arch in your back, you've definitely gone too far with the arms. Got to keep that engagement in your core as you move the arms. This looks really simple, but we're also encouraging our core to work with the upper body. So you're pressing gently, hands into the block as you lift it overhead, getting a nice little warm up or stretch for your shoulders, a little mobility work for your shoulders. The whole time we're keeping the core really engaged, really stable. We continue just a couple more here for our warm up. All right, you can relax the arms down. Okay, next we're going to go into a bird dog move. You might know this move. We're going to do it a little bit differently with the block. It's also called a dead bug when we do it lying on our backs. Let's draw both knees into the chest to start, or at least knees over your hips. And then we're going to take the block. I'm using my block on my right hand, block against my left thigh, and this part is going to stabilize. So same thing, keeping everything stable here. Lift your left arm. And so holding the block, it's a little bit of an isometric contraction, pushing your thigh into the block, your hand into the block, but not letting it move. We're going to reach the left arm back, right leg out, and come back. Feel the abdominals stay stable and engaged as you do this. You might try to see what happens if you do a super slow rep, as if you're in slow-mo, maybe moving through mud. You might see a little shaking in my body. This looks pretty simple, but it can be a great deal of work. Let's do a few more. We'll do about 8 on each side. Now, if this feels like a strain on your abdominals, when you reach your arm and leg away, simply reach your leg higher. We don't want to strain the abs or the lower back. And same thing with the arm like we did before. If when we're reaching, you don't want to reach so far back that you're arching your back. All right, last one. Let's just take a little rest. Take your feet down for a moment. If you want to do a few more pelvic rocks to loosen things up, you can. And then we'll find the second side. So again, bring both knees up over the hips. Block is on the thigh. This time it's my left hand holding the block on my right thigh. We're holding in an isometric contraction. So we're pushing the thigh into the block, pushing the hand into the block, into the thigh, not letting that move. Right hand comes up. And then again, arm and leg reach away. Remember that if you feel any strain in your abdominals, you can reach the leg higher as it goes away. If you find you're arching your back, don't go as far back with your arm. Maybe try a super slow-mo rep. Always a way to see how well you're engaging and if you're able to maintain it when you do that slow motion. And then we'll do about 2 more regular speed, whatever that is for you. Remember to keep that isometric contraction with the hand against the block on the thigh. Come back to center. You might need a little sigh like I did. All right, we'll do another move holding the block between the thighs. This time we're going to be doing a little bit more strengthening. So block back between the thighs, and again, place it where you want. It could be more in between the knees or even between the calves if you like. Anywhere where you feel like you can hold the block and get a decent grip on it, activating the muscles on the inner thighs. Arms can come down by your side in a low V or more out if you prefer. We're going to start moving the legs side to side. So I'm going to take my knees toward you, maybe rolling onto one hip, back through center, and the other direction. You can come as little or as much as you want. But start where you can feel where your abs are beginning to engage. And you'll notice that I'm taking a slight pause as I go to the side. So I'm rolling to the side. I'm gently pushing the block, pausing a little bit here. And then I'm going all the way through to the other side. There's no need to go with the twist all the way down to the floor, because if you rest your knees on the floor, that's going to take the effort out of it. And we're certainly trying to put in a little bit of core strength effort here. But the effort, the amount of energy you exchange here is your choice. All right, last one, last side. Come back through center, maybe take a breath in and sigh it out. All right, now we are going to take the block on the low position and place it under our lower tailbone, under our hips. So find a position where the block feels comfortable. It might have to slide a little bit more down toward your feet than you expect. We want to feel stable here because we are going to be moving the feet. So when you lift your feet, you want your blocks still to be in a really good position. We're going to start with an up, up, down, down movement, and we're going to do about 4 from each side. Make sure your upper body feels grounded. The tips of your shoulder blades are attached to the floor. And as always, that space between your fingertips at your hip points, that's where you focus on the abdominal engagement. All right, let's take right leg up so that the knee is over the hip. Left leg comes up to meet it. And then right leg down, left leg down. This is our up, up, down, down. So 3 more times on this side. Notice I'm not doing this really quickly. I want to feel the abs engage. I want to make sure I'm not moving my back. Last one, let's maybe slow it down even a little more. Sometimes slower is harder, more challenging. All right, now we're going to go up, up, down, down on the left. So starting with the left leg, same thing. I'm also trying to focus on placing my feet lightly down. So not slamming them down. That really helps my abs stay engaged rather than release. And we'll slow it down a little bit for the last one. Slowly putting one foot down and then the other. Take a breath here. It's nice to pause, check in with how we're doing, notice our effort and the parts that are working. Now we're going to bring both knees into the chest. In fact, you can squeeze them in for a moment, allow a little release if that feels good. Now we're going to go from the up position, down, down, up, up. Same basic exercise, but starting up. If you like the previous version better, repeat that version. Starting with the knees over the hips. We'll start left this time. You might want the hands out a little wider for balance. So the left goes down, down, up, up. 3 more times. So our finishing point is the up. And let's slow it down for this last one. All right, repeating on the right side. So right lead down. We're still trying to place our feet softly when we come down. And last one slow. And you can hug your knees in again. Take a little pause here. All right, this is our last little bit of effort move. We're staying on the block and we're going to be moving both legs together this time. Starting in the same position we were just in, knees are over the hips. Hands can be wider if you need more room for balance. Remember to think about that engagement across the abdominals. Open up to a wide position. Wide is whatever is comfortably wide for you. Keep your abdominals engaged as you reach the feet apart or reach the legs long. Bring the legs together or knees back bent and legs together. So it's out, extend, rebend, and in. This movement is intentionally trying to throw us off and make us release the abdominal engagement. But we're doing it in a slow, mindful way so that we can keep our attention on the work, on our effort, and that way we can make sure that the effort feels just right. Not too much, not too little. Let's find one more. What the heck? We'll do it in that super slow again. So slowly open up, only opening to the place you can still maintain the position of your back. Slowly extending the legs. Feel maybe how your quads have to kick in, perhaps your hips, your inner thighs. Notice the muscles that work to hold you here and how they're all attached to the core. And then bring the knees in and together. All right, you can release your feet and come off the block and finish with a basic stretch, and we'll use the block just as an assist. So place the block somewhere on the outside of your right hip and extend your right leg. We're going to do a single leg twist, taking the left shin across the body, and I like to have the block here, sometimes even on the higher height. I'm tucking my bottom hip under me a little bit so I can gently rest this leg rather than pull it across. That way I can think about the opposite hip moving away, moving down and away, kind of getting a little traction in my back. I'm going to take this arm and reach out, turn my head in that direction. This is called an abdominal twist or a revolved belly twist in yoga. And you can feel that, right? Everything from about the lower ribs down is stretching. So the lower back area around the hips, all those things that are connected to what was working today is getting a good stretch here. Let's take about 3 intentional breaths. Feeling the breath in, perhaps thinking about sending the breath to the areas that we're working, encouraging those areas to release on your exhale. Last full breath in and out. Then come back through center. You'll change the position of the block if you were using it to the other side. I'm scooching my hips over a little bit. This time my left leg will extend, right bends. And then I'm taking a moment to find the place where the block feels right. That might be a little adjustment. And of course, you can use a bolster or something else if you have another prop handy. And once I find that, thinking about sending the hip long and away as it reaches away from the leg, sending the opposite arm out, bent or straight, turning my head in the direction away from my legs, and then allowing a little ease here. Release of the effort put into this practice. And we'll take 3 mindful breaths on this side. Feel the breath expand on the inhale. Encourage all parts that we're working to release and relax on your exhale. And one more full breath. When you're ready, take the block out. Help yourself back to center. So that is it. I hope you are feeling more center core engagement. I hope that if you had any back tightness or tweakness, that helped release a little bit. I've got another core practice that you can try if you like this one, and visit me for some of my other routines as well. Please like or subscribe and tell me what you thought. Enjoy the rest of your day.